where I'm reading all of Eden by Fry live on YouTube and on Facebook. And then also these videos are being posted to Instagram, where you can watch them on IGTV. No preliminaries today. We'll dive straight in. If you need to know what the hell is going on and what this is, there is an introduction video called Eden Live Introduction, wherever you find this. And there's also, of course, the website, edenbyfry.net. That's one word, edenbyfry, F-R-E-I.net, where you'll find out everything that there is to know about Eden by Fry, and where you can also read along, if you like to read along, while hearing me read this. We're still very near the beginning of everything. We're in volume 1 of Eden by Fry, which is called Dimensions. And today I'm reading chapter 3, Memories of the Future, a Leak, and the Edgy Etonian. In the great scheme of things, and I like the expression great scheme of things, it suggests both that there is a scheme to begin with and that it is great. My disorientation of this Tuesday morning is not grave. It is still Tuesday, I assume, though I haven't checked, but there is no reason to believe that it isn't, except perhaps for the time-space discontinuation that my being here at the Limon Lubaci now implies, if in fact Tuesday it still is. I boarded a train at Clapham Junction 08:26, and it is now roughly 11:30. The burger, as expected, was delicious. I don't suffer from amnesia, at least not as far as I can remember. Ka-ching! Italicizing. One-word paragraphs, short sentences, more so still, long. What confounds me is a memory of the future. I'm aware it's a memory because that's what it feels like. And it's how it constructs itself in layers, like a relief or part of a sculpture that has age-old dust cautiously blown or brushed off it. And I'm certain it's of the future because I have no recollection of it in the past. And since I'm not suffering from amnesia, I would know if I had. There's a leak making itself known in my neighbour's ceiling, which has not been explained. It's been there for a week now, and it first showed itself last Sunday when I wasn't even at home. I was in Cornwall. I received a message from my neighbour who lives in the flat below me saying, "There is a leak, could I check?" I texted back saying, "I'm on the road right now, but if it's urgent, he should let himself in." Providence, I'd pressed a set of keys to my flat into his hand the first time I met him in case of emergency. He texted me back once again saying that this was not an emergency and it could wait until I got back, since the stain on his ceiling was quite small and not growing bigger. 3 days later, on Wednesday, Pepe the builder, who's from Pompeii, where he tells me the mafia is, comes in and has a look around and is hardly perturbed. It's not, he assures me, coming from my shower and not from my sink. It might be coming from some old pipe between my floor and my neighbour's ceiling, but it could also be from an unproved spot in the wall, possibly where there's a ledge. The building is 100 years old, after all. We should wait and see. Another 3 days pass, plus the Wednesday, makes 7 in total so far, and again on a Sunday, my neighbour phones me up to tell me the stain has now grown quite a bit. There has been no rain. I have not been doing anything untoward or unusual since last night, at least not that I can recall. And my recall of events, as has been established, remains intact. I say intact. I have a terrible memory, if truth be told. And truth be told, What's the point of telling anything if it isn't essentially true? Both the leak and the young man who's been to Eton have not yet occurred, at least not to me, but I remember them clearly. I remember the leak more clearly than I remember the young man, because he appeared after several drinks at the bar and he sounded unfeasibly posh. He said so himself. I just sound unfeasibly posh, is what he said. And he did sound unfeasibly posh. It was most incongruous. He was wearing a hoodie kind of top, though it may or may not actually have had a hood, and he was worried about losing his hair. His hair looked fine to me, but then I lost mine at his age, so perhaps I'm just used to the concept of early onset alopecia. Apparently, it's genetic. He fretted about sounding too posh to get girls, and professed that he much preferred the company of gay men because they were funnier, he thought, than straight people in general, and he was losing hair over losing his hair, which to me seemed unfortunate as well as unnecessary, and he was dressing down so as to mask the unfeasible poshness of his voice. I liked him immediately, but he got into an argument with my friend whom I was out with that night, even though I told them both to be nice to each other, and later on they did the same thing again. That was a curious evening. I'd already been chatted up thrice by 3 women, 4 times if you count the one who came up to me twice. That does not usually happen. I must have signalled approachability. The young man who'd been to Eton had a gay dad and a gay godfather, and he was rather too fond, I got the impression, of coke. He offered me a tiny bit from a practically empty sachet that he took from his wallet, scooped up onto a rounded corner of his payment card, which means I must have read his name, but that didn't register. The instant dislike that my friend had taken to him was now getting stronger. The young Etonian, whose name I may have read, but which did not lodge itself in my mind, at least not consciously, asked if I wanted to get some more, and I said I wouldn't know where or how, but in essence, why not? I'd had rather more than 1 or 2 drinks, and he said he could get some straight away, but we couldn't, for reasons I didn't quite understand, go to his place for this, even though it was just round the corner. I didn't think it wise, or even just comfortable, to stay where we were and do Class A drugs right under the noses of the bouncers, literally on the pavement. And also I didn't have, nor did I want to spend, any money. We left it at that. And at one point the bouncers ushered us inside. It was coming up 3 o'clock in the morning, and the young man came back and asked us for £1 to get home. But I genuinely didn't have £1 on me. I had been paying by card all night long, and my friend didn't like him, so he didn't give him £1. And then the young man showed his edge a bit and started abusing my friend, but I couldn't hear what he was saying because the music in there was too loud, and my friend looked perturbed, but took it all in calm resignation, as if that were just the kind of thing that normally happens at the end of an evening, unpleasant though it may be, and that, I thought, was that. Except, once we were outside, the Edgy Etonian suddenly materialised again, and I asked him what he'd said to my friend, and he apologised, saying he'd got carried away a bit, or words to that effect. And my friend left, and I said goodbye to the stranger who had nearly been pleasant enough by a random encounter to become a friend too, but had now rather spoilt it. And I worried about my friend, because he'd looked so dejected, and also he had to get back to Earlsfield, which is right in the middle of technically nowhere, especially if you're travelling after 3 in the morning. None of this particularly fits anywhere, I realise, but I remember it as I sit here in this garden of civilised repose in one of the trendy portions of Istanbul. Except none of it has yet occurred. It was all yet to come. I check my phone. No, coming up noon. High time, I sense, although with a crushing vagueness as to what this might mean, to get going. I order a Bloody Mary. And that's it for today. I'm doing this on a twice weekly basis, ordinarily, and so far consistently, at 6:15 on Mondays and Tuesday, 6:15 London time. So if you have time then, next Wednesday at 6:15 London time, or any time later, because these videos will stay online, then see you next time, when I'll be reading again a little bit more from Dimensions from Eden by Fry. See you then. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.